after inflicting atrocities on the residents of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and terrorizing the Balochis. Yet another ugly face of Pakistan has been exposed. Reports have suggested to NewsX and Sunday Guardian that the Pakistani army has been using chemical weapons against the residents of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region in order to suppress the demand for a separate nation for the Pashtuns. Survivors of the brutal attack have exposed how the Pakistani army is using chemical weapons in addition with other means of destruction against the Pashtuns who have been demanding a separate state. Go across right now to Mr. Umar, Daud, Khattak Pashtun activist who is joining us live at this point. Mr. Khattak, thank you so much for joining us at this point, and we appreciate you for the courage to speak out against the atrocities of the Pakistani state here. Can you confirm these reports that we have received of Pakistan using chemical weapons against the Pashtuns who are fighting for their right to self-rule?
Thank you very much for inviting me to the studio today. Of course, Pakistan has been using chemical weapons against Pashtun civilians, and there have been tens of families, and the number is in hundreds. And several people have been died by the use of chemical weapons that Pakistani aircraft dropped on the Pashtun villages. So no one is allowed to enter those areas heavily guarded by Pakistan army, and journalists are beaten up and arrested, whoever wants to report from that area. I in fact tried to report this information, but no media wanted to publish this. I thank NewsX for highlighting these issues, and I did in fact reported this to the State Department and US Parliament.
Well, of course, we are with you, Mr. Khattak, in your fight for justice here. And what is shocking indeed, some of these pictures that have come up, we have had to heavily blur them because they are extremely disturbing to go through. But what, Mr. Khattak, this does establish is that Pakistan essentially is in clear violation of the Geneva Convention of 1924, which prohibits the use of chemical weapons as a clear war crime. This is not even a state of war which Pakistan is in, yet the use of chemical weapons on its own citizens shows the sheer barbarism that is prevalent within the Pakistani state.
Pakistan is a black hole of human rights violations. So it has waged a full-fledged war on Pashtuns and Baloch. They are using heavy weapons, artillery, F-16, and they are bulldozing the whole infrastructure, civilian infrastructure. They have bulldozed the houses of people. They have bulldozed the markets, and they have been entering the houses of people and abduct women. Not only chemical weapons, they've also been trying to use nuclear weapon at short ranges. And the area in Waziristan and tribal areas is totally evacuated by the from the civilian population, and they have brought international terrorists to that area to use as a launching pad against Afghanistan and India and the rest of the world.
What is particularly disturbing is the fact that this is not really an isolated incident that's coming in. We have seen, and NewsX has been at the forefront of establishing the face of Pakistani brutality against any dissident in the country. We have seen protests coming out in POK against those who have been sidelined and have been marginalized by the Pakistani government in the form of rigged elections. We have seen the unbearable and unbelievable atrocities which the Pakistani state has committed upon the Balochistanis, who are also fighting for self-rule. And now we are seeing this horrible face of Pakistan coming in from the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as well. Does this not come across to your sheer hypocrisy that Pakistan continues to raise the Kashmir bogey in World Forum, accusing India of human rights violations in Kashmir, while its own track record with its own citizens in separate regions, 3 different regions, really exposes how brutal the state is?
You know, all the terrorist breeding factories are either in Khattak, Waziristan, and the rest of the areas in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The terrorists or Islamists that are fighting in Kashmir against the Indian government actually comes from those terror camps which are located in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Earlier I have said that Pakistan is using Pashtunistan, or the land of Pashtun, as the terrorist breeding center, and evacuate the civilian population into Afghanistan and displace the rest of the people in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. and they even don't allow those IDPs to live with their relatives in Punjab, Sindh, or the main cities of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa like Peshawar and Quetta. And the army in ISI even threatened those people who host the IDPs coming from Waziristan and tribal areas. And the most unfortunate thing is that Pakistan banned Save the Children and UNHCR, like international humanitarian organization, international relief organization coming to the help of these IDPs. They have banned these organizations. One example is Save the Children. Absolutely. And they don't allow the Pashtun IDPs to get treatment and live with their relatives in the main cities.
Well, Mr. Umar, Daud, Khattak, we thank you so much, and we appreciate your courage for speaking out against the Pakistani regime and the sheer face of brutality that we have exposed. NewsX will continue to be with the rights of the Pashtun and will continue to expose Pakistan for its war crime.